Hello, friends. It's the
Hey.
Cinemondo podcast, Kathy and Burke. Um, I like comic books. If anybody needs to know that information, I
Yes.
always have. Always that was like my first exposure to weird stories and strange kind of science
Mhm.
fiction and unusual characters and things like that. And DC Comics and Marvel Comics, of course, were the two big ones in my life, and some of
Yeah.
the other ones, Gold Key and things like that. But
Yeah.
there's a character, an old character that goes way back in the Batman universe.
This is an obscure one. I don't think
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't big in the comic books. I read stuff like Archie and Tales from the Crypt, but I loved Batman at the time too. I love Batman, and so but I've never heard of this villain. I mean, I wasn't deep in the comics, so I'm very intrigued by this because it's a villain I've never heard of. It's directed by a great horror director, and it's written by a great horror director.
Yeah.
So there's something I love that DC is kind of going into a body horror type zone to frame the work this character into, this villain.
It's interesting too, because I think what's fun about it is they're taking these old ideas of, when the original comic books were written, these characters are, some of them were pretty grim, but the context of comic book stories was a lot of times aimed at kids and young people. And so therefore the characters were sort of these broad strokes, kind of overblown characters. Like the Joker was this radical, like laughing weirdo that had a distorted face and the big
Everybody
smile.
Loves Joker. Everybody.
And the Joker did things, and the Riddler, they always had a riddle that Batman had to solve. But what's interesting is when writers take those characters and try to bring them into the real world, like the way Christopher Nolan did with the Joker. I love The Dark Knight because it took the Joker character and brought him into almost, it was still a distortion of reality, that movie. It took place in another kind of realm, like another dimension, but still the Joker seemed like something that could maybe happen, and was kind of couched in this kind of grim idea of what the Joker's philosophy was. Because in the comics, he was just bonkers, he's crazy, ha ha ha, But in the context of the Christopher Nolan film, he was scary. He was unhinged, and he wanted to burn the world down. And you get that idea. You're like, wow, that's what the Joker's been all along. And it looks like that's what they're going to do with the idea of Clayface, another similar bonkers kind of character who it seems like maybe they're going to try to bring it into this sort of grimmer version of reality.
I mean, just even looking at the first frame of this trailer, it just looks devastating. Okay, let's take a look at this.
Let's take a look.
Dying to see this. It's going to be so interesting. Knowing that this is technically a body horror film, or starring Tom Rhys-Harris, and it was directed by James Thomas Watkins and written by Mike Flanagan. That's like
Mike Flanagan, yeah.
I mean, my God, Mike Flanagan. So when you hear Mike Flanagan, okay, this is going to be character based and probably emotional. So he's a great guy because he brings that to horror movies. That's why his are so successful. They're very relatable.
Yeah.
And he grounds them with these great characters that you care about. So when stuff is happening to these characters, it's very upsetting. And so it looks like this is going to be very upsetting. And it's a DC movie. So very interesting to see this. Woo.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look.
Let's
curious.
take a look. Dying.
And we ready?
Yep.
Hold the work.
God, his eye. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh. Chills. Oh, man. Oh. Shit. Oh my God, that was so disturbing. Holy shit. I love the Beautiful Face song in it. Is on the nose, but kind of perfect.
Yeah.
That's great because I feel like already tying that into, here's this beautiful man, and they kind of showed him just in and out, like you don't get a super great look at him, but you know he's
Right.
beautiful. And how they are kind of centering on the fact that image and looks are so important now, especially like in social media, the way everyone's just overexposed, influencers, actors, the whole thing. I love the idea this guy's, his whole face is his whole identity.
Right.
And it looks like, I don't know, was he kidnapped and tortured? Do you know the background of Clayface? Like what did happen that turned him into Clayface?
I can't remember exactly from the comic books. It's been a while since I read those old ones, but it was like from the olden days, you know, the earliest incarnation of Batman, he fought a character named Clayface. And I would imagine, correct me, and you know, if you're more of a comic book nerd than me, correct me, but I have a feeling it was something similar to like the Joker and every other supervillain where he, you know, got some kind of chemical splashed on him or struck by lightning while he was touching a you know, some Play-Doh or something.
Oh, well, here, okay, I just found a little snippet, and this is what the movie's about. So I want whoever's out there can confirm if this is the same way in the comics, but it says in the film, Hagen is an actor whose face is disfigured. It looked like he was almost kidnapped or tortured.
Somebody was cutting it, looked like.
Yeah. And he turns to a scientist who transforms his body into clay. So it looks like he was so desperate to get his looks back. He goes to a shady, like, I'll do anything, please inject me, whatever you need to do so I can be beautiful again. It looks like he has this power now that he's not sure, but at least he can look how he wants to look.
Right.
But it's probably going to make him a villain. Well, we saw the big club hand, like his kind of trademark. You know, I guess he can transform his body into other things, even not even his face. So, it looks really, it looks so good. Oh my God.
Well, I get him mixed up. There's another one called Sandman, which we have seen in some of the stories, and I think that's a Marvel character. I'm getting my old body horror villains mixed up here, but
it might be DC. I don't know.
I think Spider-Man fought Sandman, but the idea of some of these things, like, it is body horror when you think about what happened to the Joker and, you know, some of these other villains, and even Spider-Man, you know, being bitten by a radioactive spider, that's body horror in a way, if you think about it. I mean,
it is.
The fact that he becomes a superhero is kind of incidental almost to the fact that it altered his body. It altered his human form and turned him into sort of this weird mutated hybrid
but
thing.
He still always looked good.
Yeah.
This guy didn't look good. He was dead. So now he's got that, and it could be good or bad. Tom Rhys-Harris did. Yeah. He did Hunky Dory. He starred in Hunky Dory, Slaughterhouse Rules, The Gentleman. I think I remember him in Gentleman. Had a kid's role. He was in a Doctor Who episode. He has that perfect angelic bone structure that's so great. And I like that in this too. They didn't really go into the superhero. It looked like they did more about like the origin, like the sad, tragic body horror aspect of it, like his transformation. We didn't see a ton of like his villain stuff. We didn't see any if I didn't know it was DC, I would think this wasn't even a superhero movie at all. Right. I wouldn't even know. So I love that aspect. And we have James Thornton Watkins. He's an English director. He did The Woman in Black, Speak No Evil. Oh, that was a really good one too. And he's done some Black Mirror episodes. Yeah. So very cool.
That says a lot to me. That's one of my favorite shows.
We all know and love Mike Flanagan. He's kind of almost a household word now. And if you guys don't know, you know, Mike Flanagan did The Haunting of Hill House or Hell House, Haunting of Hill House, on Netflix. And he's done some great just standalone films, and they're always very character based.
He's worked with Stephen King ideas and
so good. So the idea of them joining forces, so intriguing. That's like a horror fan perfection trifecta, because we have DC, Flanagan, and a horror director like that. There's something about this so intriguing, and that eye, like seeing his tortured eye, like he's sitting there going, I'm done. My face is mutilated. I've got nothing left. I look like garbage. It's like my life is over. And how sad. Everyone can relate to that. Like how your life can change in a minute. We're all already concerned, like, oh, my chin is to this, or oh, my family. Everybody has their problems with how they look. And imagine if you look like that. Like how devastating it would be, especially if you're like someone who's using that as their life, you know, how to make money and stuff. It'd be really hard.
And he might feel whatever happens, there might be some kind of revenge or something. Maybe that's part of the story we don't see in the trailer, where whoever did that to him now this guy's going to go out and find him and track him down, and maybe, you know, if he devastated him so much, it kind of warped his empathy or whatever, and turned him into this kind of, you know, focused on vengeance kind of person.
I want to know more. You guys out there, tell us, give us context.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's look at a poster. Boom. Oh,
yeah.
Whoa, they're going right into the horror right away. Ooh, it's so creepy. Oh.
Yeah.
I like too how he's looking up, like if you looked at him just from his eye up, it looks like something hopeful, and then it's like, oh God, what is happening?
He's sort of melting.
Tons of negative space. This is a really classy DC poster. I mean, and you got that big logo on it. It's like crazy. So it's gonna be in theaters only. Oh, looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
Fascinated by this. It looks great.
Looks kind of intense and kind of a great, maybe, you know, villain origin story. Maybe there's going to be like a little post-credit ending where Batman is shadow of Batman or something, you know, or he, you know, maybe he encounters Batman in this movie somehow, or
that's what I love.
Something.
Origin stories.
Yeah.
Always origin. Even if I don't know it, even if I'm not familiar with the villain, or comic book movies like Marvel, DC, I'm all about the origin story. It's like I love hearing that, like how Spider-Man became Spider-Man, how Batman became Batman. How that's where I live when it comes to this kind of entertainment. The origin. What's after that? Once they're a superhero in the fighting, I'm not as interested, but I like the origin. Oh, it's so good. So
well, everybody loves the Batman origin. That's such a classic, classic all-time origin story. Very tragic and horrible, and but it's a great motivator. You know, I mean. You lose everything, and you just, as a kid, you see that horrible thing happen, and you have this great loss and this grief, and you're like, what can I do? And depending on what source you get your origin story from, either a bat at that moment breaks through the window and he says, by Jove, that's the idea. I'll dress up like a bat.
By Jove.
Those criminals are a superstitious lot.
I have an idea.
Them with my bat costume.
I will be a bat because everyone is afraid of them.
Yeah.
But then Bat's just really cute. His little ears on his things, just cute.
Yeah.
It's not very scary.
It is kind of a nutty idea when you think about it.
It's a very nutty idea.
The good filmmakers, you know, the good storytellers can make that idea work. They can make it seem like, yeah, he is a little unhinged.
Clayface looks really good. It looks tragic. It looks intense. It looks like not at all superhero, which is already drawing me in. And we've got our horror cred. So come on, bring me this movie right now.
Looks good.
Looks good. Let us know what you think, and be sure to fill us in on any Clayface mythology that you know.
Yeah, if Clayface is a part of your, you know, comic book landscape, I don't know. Clayface it's kind of reaching into the past, I think, in some ways. But I think some of the cartoon shows, some of the DC animated things with Batman, I think they had Clayface.
Yeah.
I'm not too up to speed on a lot of those, but I think Clayface was a kind of a major character in some of those animated series, the DC animated series.
Looks really good.
But let us know.
Let us know. Bye.
Bye, everybody.